Aloha mai kako, good morning. This is the September 17th, 2021 Land Use Commission meeting, which is being held using interactive conference technology, linking video conference participants and other interested individuals of the public via the Zoom internet conferencing platform in order to comply with the state and county official operational directives during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Members of the public are able to view the meeting via the Zoom webinar platform. Everybody speak slowly and clearly and identify yourselves for the record. We're taking the transcripts from the record of this Zoom meeting, so it really helps if you do that. In addition, keep in mind we're recording this so that if you're participating, you're being recorded. If you don't want to be recorded, you should leave the meeting now. In addition, keep in mind that since we're all accessing this meeting via our own personal digital devices, sometimes there's interruptions to connectivity. If this happens, please let us know and be patient as we try to restore connectivity during the pandemic. For any members of the public who are accessing this meeting via telephone rather than Zoom software, you may, during the portions of the meeting where public testimony may be allowed, use *9 to raise your hand or lower it, or *6 to ask to be unmuted. Normally, we take breaks from time to time, but we expect this meeting to last only until 10 a.m. when it will be adjourned. My name is Jonathan Scheuer. I currently have the honor and pleasure of serving as the Land Use Commission Chair. With me, Commissioner Edmund Axon, Gary Okuda, our Executive Officer Daniel Oradenker, Chief Planner Scott Derrickson, Chief Clerk Riley Hakoda, our Deputy Attorney General Julie China, and our Program Specialist Natasha Quinones are all on the island of Oahu. Commissioner Nancy Cabral represents Hawaii Island. Commissioner Lee Ohigashi represents and is on Maui, and Commissioner Dan Giovanni represents and is on the island of Kauai. We currently have 8 seated commissioners of a possible 9. Commissioners Wong and Chang are excused from today's meeting. Our first order of business will be deferred, which is adoption of the September 8th through 9th, 2021 meetings. Minutes. Our next order of business is the tentative meeting schedule. Mr. Oradenker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. September 22nd's meeting has been postponed.
Hold on, we cannot hear you.
September 22nd's meeting is currently taken off calendar. September 23rd, we will be meeting to take up the Waikaku Properties matter. On October 13th, we will be taking up Kihei High School and the Hakuau 201H project. On October 14th, we have set aside an IAL, the IAL designation matter.
Hold on. Sorry, Mr. Oradenker, with the other noise in your room, that last couple sentences I could not catch.
Okay, on October 13th, we will be taking up the Kihei High School matter and the Hakuau 201H matter. On October 14th, we have the Oahu IAL matter. On October 27th, we have once again the Hakuau matter, and October 28th is currently set aside for IAL matters. On November 10th, we will be completing the Hakuau 201H project. We will not be holding a meeting on November 11th, as that is Veterans Day. On November 24th, we will adopt the order in the Hakuau matter, and November 25th is Thanksgiving. On December 8th, we will take up the Wynwood Airport Hotel matter on Maui, as well as December 9th. December 22nd and 23rd are at the Commission's pleasure, and that takes us through the end of the year.
Thank you, Mr. Oradenker. It'd be helpful if a copy of that could be emailed to the commissioners. Commissioner Giovanni, you have a question?
I do. So on October 13th, Mr. Oradenker, I don't know if you saw my note, I'll be on the East Coast and I need to chair the session on the Kihei High School. And it's pretty difficult for me. Is there any opportunity to move that to the 15th? If not, I'll have to work magic to be able to serve in that chairmanship capacity on the 13th.
We can actually poll the commissioners and see if that's a possibility. If so, we will adjust the calendar to move the 13th matters to the 15th.
Thank you for that consideration. I would appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So I'll be in New York on the 13th. I'm flying all day home on the 14th, and I'm free on the 15th.
We will do our best to accommodate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can I ask Mr. Derrickson, Ms. Quinones, or Mr. Hakoda to make me co-host so I can lower meeting hands and otherwise control the meeting? Any other questions for Mr. Ordenker about our schedule, commissioners? Seeing none. Our next agenda item is the adoption of the order for docket number SP 21-412, a special use permit application for the Mahi solar project for an approximately 120 megawatt alternating current solar and energy storage facility located at Kunia, Oahu. TMKs on the island of Oahu numbered as follows: 9-2001, a portion of lot 20, and 9-2004, a portion of lot 3, a portion of lot 6, a portion of lot 10, and a portion of lot 12. The commission last heard the matter on September 9th via Zoom meeting. Mr. Hakoda or Mr. Derrickson, have there been any written testimony submitted on this matter?
Yeah, this is Riley. No written testimony, but some informational material that was requested was submitted by the Kuipono. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of the
Ulupono Initiative.
Kuipono.
And is that posted or will be posted to the website?
I circulated the email earlier this morning. I did not have time to post it to the website.
Okay, let's do appearances. Would we start with the petitioner?
Good morning, Chair. Aloha, Commissioners. Randall Sakamoto on behalf of the petitioner, Mahi Solar LLC. I apologize. I thought this meeting was at 10 o'clock, so I apologize. I'm not properly dressed, but I thought it would be better to get on the meeting right now.
Thank you, Mr. Sakamoto. City and County.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the commission. Dwayne Pang, Deputy Corporation Counsel on behalf of the Department of Planning and Permitting.
OP.
Allison Kato, Deputy Attorney General for the Office of Planning and Sustainable Development, and Noreen Maki from the Office of Planning. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And you might be relieved, Mr. Sakamoto, that you were better dressed than some people were at the start of this meeting. So, which was the subject of discussion before we opened things up formally. With that, is there any members of the public who wish to testify on the adoption of the order? If so, please raise your hand using the software function or the *9 function for the individual who is calling into this meeting. Does anybody wish to testify? Okay, there is a raised hand from phone number 808-222-2826. I'm going to admit this individual into the meeting. Actually, the way it works for a call-in, I'm going to allow them to talk. So, aloha and good morning. You've raised your hand wishing to testify on the adoption of the order on this matter. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, would you please state your name and address for the record?
Okay, it's Christopher Delaney with Pacific Resource Partnership, and we're at 1100 Alakea Street, Honolulu, Hawaii, 96813.
Okay, Mr. Delaney, thank you very much. Nice to hear you again. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Okay, if you can do this in a couple of minutes, that'd be great. Please proceed.
Sure. Yes, we did submit written testimony earlier in the hearing process, but Pacific Resource Partnership is in strong support of the Mahi Solar project, and we respectfully request the Commission's favorable decision on the project special permit application. The Mahi Solar Project would provide a valuable opportunity to stimulate our economy, both by creating new jobs and by creating infrastructure which can help lower energy costs for consumers and businesses. Construction of the project will support approximately 340 jobs during the peak of construction. And also, when completed, this newly proposed solar project will be capable of generating enough energy to power approximately 37,000 homes on Oahu, which will advance the state closer towards achieving its goal to generate 100% clean energy by 2045. So we hope that you will have a favorable decision on this project, and thanks for this opportunity to testify.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dillon. Please stay available in case there are any questions from the parties. Any questions for the witness, Mr. Sakamoto?
No questions, Chair.
County,
No questions, Mr. Chair.
OP,
No questions, thank you.
commissioners. Seeing none, thank you very much for making the effort to testify and also illustrating that one can successfully testify by calling in to our meetings. That's appreciated. Thank you very much, Mr. Delaunay. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Are there any other individuals of the public wishing to testify on the adoption of the order on this matter? If so, please raise your hand. Use the raise your hand function on the Zoom software. There's no other individuals who are calling in. Going once, going twice, seeing none. The commission will now consider adoption of the order. Before we take up any motion, I need to confirm for the record that all commissioners and myself are prepared to participate in these proceedings. Commissioner Cabral, are you prepared to participate? An oral would be great.
Yes, I am prepared. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Okuda,
Yes, I am.
Commissioner Ohigashi,
Yes.
Commissioner Giovanni,
Yes.
Commissioner Axon.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Did I miss any? I am also prepared as the chair to participate. We'll now consider adoption of the order. Commissioner, before you, for your consideration, deliberation, and adoption are proposed findings of fact, conclusions of law, and decision in order prepared by the staff as instructed at the last meeting on the docket. Is there any discussion? I will entertain a motion to approve the form of the order for docket number SP 21-412, findings of fact, conclusions of law, and decision in order for Mahi Solar Oahu special use permit application for the Mahi Solar project. Commissioners, what is your pleasure? Commissioner Giovanni,
I move that we adopt the order as presented.
is there a second? Commissioner Cabral, you second?
Yes, I would be honored to second that motion.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, we are in discussion. There's a motion on the table made by Commissioner Giovanni and seconded by Commissioner Cabral. Commissioner Gary Okuda.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think one issue we need to resolve, which is not a major issue, is should the order contain those statutes referenced at the very end of the revised order in detail, or should there just be a simple paragraph which summarizes the fact that in the conclusions of law, the solar project satisfies the intent and the statutes as passed by the legislature. I had initially suggested that the order contain verbatim quotations from the statute to show the very detailed legislative intent, but I don't have any strong feelings if the long verbiage is left out and a simple paragraph is adopted instead. Conclusions of law, as we know, on appeal are reviewed de novo, so the appellate court will look at it without giving us any deference. The findings of fact, on the other hand, if we make a determination that we believe in the credibility of a witness or make findings regarding factual matters, there's deference given to us. But as far as the conclusions of the law, whether it's the law, my initially suggested long form or a short summary, I don't have any strong feelings one way or the other. I don't know what everyone else thinks.
Perhaps, well, so I might need a little guidance from our executive officer on how to handle this discussion of adoption of the order. Mr. Oradenko.
Well, I think that if I guess that the proper thing to do here is under Robert's rules, and Ms. Gina, you can stop me if I'm wrong, is for Commissioner Okuda to make a friendly amendment or proposed amendment to the motion that's on the floor for discussion purposes. And if that proposed amendment fails, then we move with the original.
Okay.
If proposed amendment succeeds, then we move with that motion.
Thank Ms. Gina.
That is correct. Somebody should propose to amend what's on the floor, and you can go from there.
Thank you, Ms. Gina. And this confirms what my belief was the proper method of considering this, but I want to confirm. Commissioner Ohigashi.
I'm more amenable to having a short version that was placed in it, because in my mind, the statute speaks for itself, and a reference to it would be sufficient. If Mr. Okuda can consider just amending or withdrawing, not amending it for the short version, I think that I would be able to support it. And we can go from there, since he seems to indicate that it would be, in his view, an either or situation.
Thank you, Commissioner Ohigashi. So I'll note right now, we had a comment offered by Commissioner Okuda. There's no friendly amendment yet to amend the motion. So Commissioner Okuda.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I offer a friendly amendment that the form of the order that is adopted is the form that has the summary, a short, what we would call the short paragraph, and not the long quotations which had been proposed, new paragraphs 19 through 24. So that would not be, the long version would not be the form of the order that was adopted. I would offer a friendly amendment or a request that the motion be amended to include just the short version. And I understand and agree with Commissioner Ohigashi's analysis.
To be really explicit on the oral record of our proceedings, Commissioner Okuda, is there a paragraph to be added that you could read into the record that you're proposing as a friendly amendment to the form of the order?
Yeah, yes, Mr. Chair. I propose that the order that is adopted contain paragraph 19, which reads as follows, and I will quote it, quote, 19, the project is consistent with the legislature's statement of energy policy as set forth in HRS section 196-1, comma, HRS section 226-18, comma, and the state of Hawaii's stated policy to mitigate its greenhouse gas emissions by sequestering more atmospheric carbon and greenhouse gases than the state produces as quickly as practicable, comma, but no later than 2045 pursuant to HRS chapter 225P, comma, HRS section 225 P-1, period, close quote.
Okay. Is the move on and the seconder amenable to the inclusion of this language in the adoption of the order? Commissioner Giovanni,
The move on welcomes this amendment to the motion.
Commissioner
And
Cabral,
the seconder welcomes this motion, this amendment to the wonderful motion. Thank you.
okay. So I realize we are in deliberation now, and one would normally only call on any of the parties if there was a specific question, but I want to take the privilege to do so just in case the applicant has any statement or concern or seeking of clarity as to what we're just doing on this amendment. Mr. Sakamoto, does your client have any concern with adding this additional language, which simply states that this project is indeed consistent with state policy?
No concerns, Chair.
Thank you. With that, we have a motion before us. Folks who would like to speak to the adoption of the order as moved and amended? Anyone? Commissioner Giovanni?
Yeah, I made this motion originally to approve this project as proposed with a few conditions that were brought forth by OP. And I continue to be in strong support of this project. And I welcome this amendment from Commissioner Okuda, although there has not been a full-blown analysis of the impact on the carbon footprint that this project would have on the carbon footprint in Hawaii. It's clear in my personal opinion that this one project will have the most positive impact on that matter of any project I'm familiar with. So it's very much aligned with the intent of energy and climate change policy in the state. And for those reasons, I encourage adoption of the order.
Further comments? Commissioner Cabral?
I will second that opinion, and I am personally thrilled to be on this commission and to be able to make this step forward to what is, in my favorite words, common sense, that we have all of this sun and that we're able to convert that and help save so much fossil fuels from entering our environment and from having to pay for those fossil fuels. And so I know that there's cost involved with everything, but I'm just thrilled that we're able to be a part of moving our state forward and have approximately 37,000 homes have electricity in such a project. And I welcome having more of these wonderful type of considerations in the future. Thank you.
Further comments? Seeing none, Mr. Ordenker, would you please poll the commission?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The motion is to adopt the order with friendly amendment of the order be adopted with a short paragraph regarding consistency with the state energy policy. Commissioner Giovanni,
Aye.
Commissioner Cabral,
Aye.
Commissioner Okuda,
Yes.
Commissioner Ohigashi,
Yes.
Commissioner Axon,
Yes.
Commissioner Chang and Commissioner Wong are absent. Commissioner Chair Schroeder.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The motion passes with 6 affirmative votes.
Okay, thank you. Congratulations to the applicant. We certainly want this project to succeed in both its solar generation, storage, and agricultural aspects, and wish you all well.
Thank you very much, Chair. And thank you, commissioners, very much.
Thank you. With that, we only have one other item on our agenda, which is an executive session pursuant to HRS Section 92(5)(a)(2) to consider personal matters where the consideration of matters affecting privacy will be involved. I've been informed that there's no public testimony, written public testimony that was received in relationship to this agenda item. Are there any members of the public who wish to testify on this agenda item? If so, use the raise your hand function. I'm going to seek a motion to go into executive session. Is there one? Mr. Ohigashi, Commissioner, is that why you're raising your hand?
Yes, I so move to go into executive session to discuss privacy matters as indicated by the chair.
Is there a second? A seconded by Commissioner Axon. You're muted if you're trying to say something aloud.
I just want to clarify if there's a separate link for this executive session. 'Cause I don't think
Yes, there is a separate link that has been emailed to you by Natasha Quinones at 2:52 p.m. on the 15th.
Okay, I'll look for it.
For members of the public who may be attending and appropriately keeping an eye on us, we will go into a different Zoom meeting for this executive session. We will then briefly come in to this meeting again for public adjournment, but won't conduct any business. So if you wish to leave and go about your day, please feel free to do so. With that, thank you very much, and we will go into executive session. It's 8:51 a.m. We are back into regular session. If anybody driving down Baratania Street noticed white smoke emerging from the top of the Leo Papa Akamehameha building, we have happily reached an agreement to continue the services of Daniel Ordanker as our executive officer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And with that, we have no further business to do, and today's meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.